Welcome back to the YouTube channel, AI Writing for Neophytes. My name is Scott from Barrier Breeze Studios. In the preceding videos, we learned how to use Claude.ai and ChatGPT to develop a story. The story is at a standpoint now where I believe it's time we can go in and edit it and enhance it and make it something that's really worthwhile to read. And that's going to need a human touch. So when you have a chance, please subscribe. Please give me the thumbs up and let's dive right in. On the screen before you, you can see in Microsoft Word the story that we developed in the previous videos. Now I'm going to load that story back in the Claude and see if Claude has any suggestions for us. On the screen before you, you see two windows that are open. The first one is open to Claude, where I have cut and pasted our story from Word and uploaded it into Claude and asked him to give me analysis. The second window you see is pseudo-write, which we're going to use to rewrite some of the paragraphs. I use a pseudo-write when I like the subject of the paragraph, but I just don't like how the paragraph's been written. So let's go to Claude. And Claude's first comment is that he doesn't really like the opening, which is the opening he wrote, I might add, but he thinks it can be a more dramatic opening. As I was reviewing the suggestions that Claude had for opening up the story, one that jumped out at me is highlighted on the screen. The last thing he remembered was falling, remembering that our young man realizes later on that he's no longer on his world because he sees two moons. I'm going to key off on that and ask Claude how he would restructure the opening of the story. So here is how Claude responded. I'm actually going to read it because that helps to understand the flow. The last thing he remembered was falling, not the gentle drift of a leaf spiraling to earth, but a violent plunge through light and shadow, through heat that heated his skin, cold and froze his breath. The memory fractured like ice across his mind, a kaleidoscope of sensations that made no sense, vertical, weightlessness, the taste of ozone, a flash of impossible colors. Then nothing. The rhythmic whispers of waves. I'm like, what? We went from a pretty good opening and then the whisper of waves. I don't think that makes sense. So I'm going to go back and have Claude rewrite that transition and see what kind of improvements he can make. So you can see that I asked Claude that this transition can be improved. And I wrote down specifically, I cut and pasted what part of that transition I didn't like. For instance, nothing, and then the rhythmic whisper of waves. Claude rewrote it, keeping the first paragraph about the same, and then one word, waves. The sound came first. So that, to me, is a better transition to the start of our story. So I'm going to keep that. And then we'll go on to the next edit. So the next thing I want to edit in the story is actually the very next paragraph, which you can see highlighted in yellow on your screen. However, I want to use pseudo-write because I don't necessarily need to change the flow of the story, but I absolutely want to change how this paragraph is written. So I'm going to stop this video here, and then we're going to transition to a new video, which will be just about using pseudo-write to edit this paragraph. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.